6:43 and Tuesdays at this time. We love visiting with our buddy. It is Ron, the car guy from Westside Auto Pros, and something that I'm sure a lot of folks have on their mind every single morning when they're walking out to their vehicle, getting set to jump in and go do whatever they have to do is, what's this going to cost me?
That's right.
Yes.
Yep. As you're getting in your car, getting ready to go, you're always thinking about gas.
Mm-hmm. Who has gas?
We think about it every morning, Ron. I work with all guys. I have to deal with it every morning.
We're not going to talk about that kind of gas. That'll be a natural gas session someday.
That's right.
No, we're going to talk a little bit about fuel mileage, and there's some myths out there about things that affect your fuel mileage. And this last weekend, I had heard somebody talking about one of them, so that's kind of what sparked me to bring this up and talk about it again. And of course, we've seen, compared to a year or two ago, I mean, gas prices are still lower than they were, but we were talking just a little bit before we went on air. The prices are starting to kind of inch backwards or back up, and gas is starting to creep up a little bit. I don't think it's here to stay. I think we'll still enjoy, $2.50 gas or somewhere in that neighborhood for a while. But one of the things that we can all do to keep the price of fuel lower is to use less, because it's supply and demand. If there's a lot of gas out there, the price is going to be low, so they sell it. But I want to talk about some of the myths here that affect fuel mileage or really don't affect fuel mileage, but people think they do. And the first one is turning off your air conditioner and opening the windows. And I remember that when I was a kid. Dad would always have the air conditioning turned off, and you kids roll down those windows because we're going to save gas. And that might have worked back in 1971 in the Chevrolet Caprice, but it certainly is not true on today's cars. And there's actually been studies done, and you get better fuel economy if the windows are up and the air conditioning is turned off or turned on. And the reason for that is aerodynamics. Cars are built just like, race cars and stuff. They're built in wind tunnels, and they're aerodynamically designed to where when the windows are down, it upsets that aerodynamics. It creates more drag going down the road in the wind, and therefore you lose fuel mileage.
Now, this past week when it's just been hotter than heck outside, and we've been cranking those ACs, is that having an effect on how much gas we're using?
Well, it does to some extent, because the air conditioning systems on a car, it'll use between 10 and 15 horsepower to run that. So it is gonna use more gas, but in the case of the choice of one or the other, do I run the air conditioning or do I put the windows down? You're better off running the air conditioning. Okay. I mean, obviously spring and fall where you need neither one, maybe just put it on vent. It's going to affect it, but yeah, definitely. And it's a little harder on the air conditioning to run longer, but we're creatures of comfort.
Right.
So in the summertime, windows up, air conditioning off. If you're concerned about fuel mileage, that's the best route to go.
Okay, so if I understand you correctly, to save the most gasoline when it's 90 degrees outside.
Absolutely.
Leave your windows up.
Yep.
And leave your air conditioning off, because that way you're not using the extra horsepower, and just get to where you have to go and run inside of the air.
Great idea.
Okay, just so if I followed your logic correctly.
That is absolutely, yeah, it's like being in a sauna too.
Yeah, absolutely. You can lose weight, you can save gas.
Nice.
It's a win-win for everybody.
And you'll be more productive at work because your coworkers will avoid you when you come in. A sweaty, dripping mess.
So
You'll be delirious, but other than that,
Got it, okay. All right.
And another myth along that same lines, and this is what I heard someone say this past weekend, was that they turn their air conditioning off when they go up a hill or if they're in a hilly area.
Really?
Because it gives the car more power. It doesn't, and I just, mentioned that it takes, 10 to 15 horsepower to run the air conditioning. And again, that was probably true back in 1971 in Dad's Caprice, but it's not true anymore. The computers on a car will actually do that for you. So let's say you're driving down the interstate and you go to pass somebody, and the computer will watch throttle position and engine load and speed, and if it comes to the conclusion that you're requesting more power, it will momentarily turn the air conditioning compressor off for you.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, you won't notice it. You can't tell that. But today's cars already calculate that, so you don't have to reach over and hit the button.
Well, that's all right.
So
I didn't know that.
That's nice.
that just kind of goes hand in hand with that. The second one, and this is probably the bigger of the two, because I hear this debate all the time, and I see it all the time driving down the highways and the interstates. And this is targeted to pickup owners: tailgate up
Tailgate,
or tailgate down.
Yep.
And to get the maximum fuel mileage on today's vehicles, you want the tailgate up. And we have a picture here showing we're back to the aerodynamics in the wind tunnel, and you can see the pickup truck on the left has the tailgate up, and that smoke, they've got it in the wind tunnel. The truck is designed so all that air goes up and over the bed.
Right.
It doesn't even go into the bed. And that's where you're going to get your best fuel economy. You can see the truck on the right, they lowered the tailgate in the same scenario in the wind tunnel, and you can see how that air, as it comes down to the back of where the tailgate's open, it starts to get disturbed and starts to move around. And you wouldn't think it makes that big of a difference, but it does. So, vehicles are designed, pickups are designed to maximize fuel economy with the tailgate up.
It kind of makes sense that they put a lot of work into the design of their vehicles. You would think they would design it so that how it is the best way to drive it, as opposed to having to alter it.
Absolutely, and these auto manufacturers, I mean, they're under a ton of pressure from the federal government to get fuel economy up.
Right.
I mean, they've got an average fuel economy to meet, so they spend millions of dollars in expensive wind tunnels, looking at aerodynamics, and when something rolls off the assembly line, that vehicle is going to get probably the best fuel mileage it can without modification. Yeah. Another thing that some of my research showed me is like the net type tailgates. You'll see people take the tailgate off the truck and they'll put that Pro Net or an Airgate or something back there. We've got the same effect that we just showed on the wind tunnel. Actually, the net type gate, as that wind comes down, it actually creates extra force. I mean, it creates a drag because it's hitting that net. Now, it's probably a push putting the net in there, because now you took the weight of the tailgate off of the truck. So, but I doubt that you gained anything doing that. I mean, just leave the tailgate on, leave the thing up, and you'll
fill
get
it
the
with
best
water
mileage.
and create a swimming pool. What about spoilers on the back of cars? Are they just for
They
looks?
look really cool when you're 18 or 19 years old.
Yeah.
I doubt they add much to it.
Okay.
I mean, if they did, we would have cars with spoilers on them. But
makes sense.
And Jason's gone today, but one thing that he would like, and this will probably prompt him to buy a pickup, and I don't know this to be fact. I haven't tested it myself, but it's what I heard, is with the tailgate down, one of the advantages, the mobile speed cameras can't get a picture of your license plate.
Oh.
Now, if any viewers have actually tested that and know that to be true,
Please let us know.
yeah, go to AskRonTheCarGuy.com and let me know. I haven't
going to
personally
drive around with
tested
his
that.
trunk of his Honda open.
Right, exactly.
Or a bike hanging on the back
Yeah,
forever,
right.
strategically placed.
But there you have it. So some fuel mileage myths.
That's right.
that are
Fuel
out there.
mileage myths. Those are all false.
But one thing that you can do to increase your fuel mileage, make sure your car is tuned up. But if you want to get a tune-up, your place would be a perfect spot to stop.
We would love to do that for you, and you can find us at westsideautopros.com. You can call us, or you could go to AskRonTheCarGuy.com. I'll answer all questions.